Hi, this is Amy, also known as a traveling broad. Today we have a special guest from the National Park Service, and we're going to talk about all of the great services the National Park Service offers and lots more. I really appreciate you taking time out to join us. Could you just tell us a little bit about what you do for the Park Service?
Sure. I am a public affairs specialist. I work in the national office in Washington, D.C. There are 423 national parks, and there's one in every state, DC, every U.S. territory. And one of the things that we're trying to do is get people to understand and know what's going on out in parks, which is why the trip planning process is so important. You wouldn't want to go to a beloved park that you've never been to and realize that there's an incredibly long wait time to get in. So we want people to have a great visit. And so when you plan, you understand what's going on the ground. So in addition to looking at like nps.gov and looking at a park's website to understand what things are like and what amenities they might have, it's also really helpful to take a look at their social media to help you understand if it's really busy or if they have some ideas for slightly less busy areas. There's also the National Park Service app that's comprehensive to all 423 parks. So you can actually open it, and if you have your location services on, it can tell you what your closest park is. You can do some research about what's going on there, and you can get some really good travel tips on there. Also consider some of the lesser visited parks. Some of the more popular ones are going to be quite filled, and you can get a pretty similar experience and see some really cool things, but probably not be around a whole bunch of other people. There could be one that's in your backyard. There could be one that's just the next state over, and it could be just as great of an experience.
Great tip. I have something really cool. It's the Rand McNally Atlas, and it's the Adventure Edition, and it's got all the national parks and camping areas indicated. We want to start seeing more of the country, so I think that will be a great way to start. When you visit a park, what are the do's and don'ts?
And be friendly to others. We've built that into our 10 essentials. If you haven't heard of the 10 essentials, if you're not someone who normally travels outside, or if you haven't in a while, this is a great refresher. It includes things like a map or something to navigate with, noting that you might not always have cell service, so having something printed out or handy is helpful. Things like sun protection, other weather protection if it's cold or hot, lights, first aid, water, food. So that's a really great list for trip planning if you're new to going out in parks, or even if you just need a refresher. Of course, things like leave no trace have always been around and are always ever important, whether in your national park or whether you're in your own community at home. Picking up trash, picking up after your dog, not vandalizing things. They all seem obvious.
You would think.
They are messages that we want to put out there. We've been really promoting the idea of responsible recreation. Go outside and enjoy your lands, but treat them with respect. We'll be able to preserve them for years and generations to come.
That's a great tip. The National Park Service has free days throughout the year. Can you speak a little bit about that?
Sure. About 5 or 6 every year, but there are only about 100 or so parks of the 423 that charge entrance fees too.
Oh, wow.
And the other thing too is if you are planning on getting a park pass, think about which parks you're going to go to, because if you're going to invest in the annual pass, which is $80, but you're only going to go to one park that charges a fee, you might be better off just paying that one fee, especially if there's a bunch of you in a vehicle. There are a number of park passes as well. It's not just the annual pass. There are passes specifically for our military. There are passes for seniors, accessibility, volunteers if you volunteer a certain number of hours. And then just recently, we've expanded it to Gold Star families and veterans.
Oh, that's wonderful. Are there any passes that are regional?
They're for all the national parks that charge an entrance fee, and they also cover a number of our public land partners. So BLM lands, Forest Service lands, Fish and Wildlife land. There's a really great website that USGS manages that tells you just about all of the different places that the pass covers. So it's not regional, it is national. I should also mention with the passes, there is a 4th grade pass too, so to get a pass for your child and 3 adults.
Are there any programs that parents can take their kids to that will help entertain them while they're out of school?
And we have a Junior Ranger program, and there are tons of parks that take part in the Junior Ranger program. You can do it in the park. You can fill out, they're mostly activity booklets. Some of them are geared for specific ages, different themes. There's one about paleontology. There's one about fishing. There's a lot of great Junior Ranger programs. I like doing them as an adult as well, because it makes me learn more about the park that I'm in and when I do an activity about it, I tend to learn some more. There are some that are available digitally as well. So even if you can't make it to a park, you can still do the Junior Ranger program at home and learn about it. So we have a lot of great educational materials that are on our website. There's games and activities and videos that rangers have produced. One thing that you might consider that is a fun interactive activity is doing some sort of citizen science activity, whether it's, recording birds or taking a look at the different plants and wildlife in parks. And it's really neat because then when you go back into a park the next time, you can start to recognize some things and then you feel really smart.
It's also kind of cool to be able to identify what's edible and what's not, just in case you're lost in the wilderness, additional knowledge that may come in handy someday. So
It could save your life.
yeah, you never know.
Yeah.
What's the best way to book a campsite? How far out do you need to do it?
We are seeing an increase in how many people are booking reservations. The best thing that you can do is just plan and check back often. Reservation.gov is our main partner for booking campgrounds and making those reservations. They handle things for not just the National Park Service, but for most federal lands. You can book your camping trip, but also reservations that you might need in a park. If there's like a ferry that you need to take, or if you're going to be booking something out to like Alcatraz Island or something. So handle a lot of the reservations that you would need to do on there too.
Oh, great. Where can people find the National Park Service on social media?
You can find us online at nps.gov. We're also on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter.
Great. Well, I will post all those links below. And thank you so much for your time. It's been very, very helpful to me, and I'm sure to everybody else watching this. And I look forward to maybe seeing you at a national park sometime soon.
Sounds great. Thank you so much, Amy.